Hello there, I'm Justin Bellshaw. Today is Friday, July 12th, and this is the first ever broadcast of Radio Bravery. That's Rodrigo y Gabriela bringing us in with a little acoustic guitar action, nylon strings, classic. Basically I am here today because I have lost my inhibitions. I am tired of caring what people think. I am tired of not saying what I feel, and I'm tired of worrying about reactions for doing this. So I'm here today to start a radio show. I will be here at least Monday through Friday every single day, and I will try to also be here on the weekends as well if possible, and I might be doing that in the beginning just to get a few more broadcasts out. My YouTube is youtube.com/RadioBravery, and I also have a Vimeo, vimeo.com/RadioBravery. My name is Justin Bellshaw. I am a restaurant server for a pub, bar, brewery, and I wait tables, and I'm a minimum wage worker, and it cost me about $8 to do this radio broadcast, and that's where I am now. Just to give you a little background on myself, I am doing this non-profit, and not for fun, but out of necessity because of where we are today as a country. Basically, I'm tired of hearing reports like this from Fox 5 in Douglas County, Georgia, forcibly drawing blood from DUI arrests, physical violence arrests, whatever it may be. They are apparently, I've seen the videos of these, they are strapping the suspects down. The suspects all refuse, and then they strap their arms down, strap their left arm down, and take blood right there for the National Blood Database. This is completely illegal. I'm just appalled at seeing this. Not to mention in Oregon, a couple weeks ago, there was a woman state trooper who got a call from a taxi driver about a young girl walking naked down the highway. And she was an 11-year-old autistic girl, it turns out, and the state trooper responded to the call and felt that they were in danger, or that she may have been endangering herself while she was supposedly cornered off the side of the road away from danger, so they tased her. They tased an 11-year-old autistic girl who then fell on her face. The taxi driver said it was one of the most horrific things he'd ever seen. And then there's been the father who's went and talked to the police, and they say that they tased her for her own safety, and he's gone then. The father went back and talked to the taxi driver who called in the girl and spotted her in the first place, and he said, "You need to get on that. These police are lying, and this is untrue. She was completely safe and completely non-violent and non-threatening." Even hearing the interviews from the father, apparently this young 11-year-old autistic girl gets very excited with cars, and she's very smart, and she managed to escape the house, and, or I guess I shouldn't say escape, but she managed to get out on her own and wander and follow cars, and the most cars clearly are on the freeway, so there's no threat there. She's excited and happy when she's around cars. She's a lovable 11-year-old girl. And she was naked and autistic. And there's no reason to tase someone like that. There's no just cause for tasing someone like that. It is not a non-lethal approach. It is a less lethal approach. And it can be very, very lethal and much worse than a gunshot. And this is just very sad to hear this kind of police work going on. This is not police work. These are not our public servants anymore. They now work for banks. They work for the big banks, and they do what they say, and that's America. Another article that hits my home front that I'm very, very appalled about, because I just got back a couple weeks ago from the March Against Monsanto in downtown Portland. They had those worldwide, actually, and Portland was one of the biggest turnouts. I'm not saying that this is a conspiracy, but this is very odd that a week after the march against Monsanto in Portland, one of the biggest turnouts of almost 6,000 people, they say, there's a genetically modified wheat outbreak in Oregon. Basically, if you know anything about genetically modified organisms, they are dominant. Any scientist will tell you that they will take over the original genes and replace them with the new, modified, better, stronger, faster gene. And this is wrong. This will ruin biosphere after biosphere and eventually ruin our planet and cause nothing natural to be able to grow. That explains why they spray aluminum and barium from planes and chemtrails. They're actually chemical trails. There are rarely contrails that I see anymore. And basically, since Monsanto has patented the only aluminum-resistant seed, and aluminum depletes the soil of all of its nutrients, nothing will be able to grow unless it is an aluminum-resistant seed given to you from Monsanto. And of course, they will be genetically modified, cancer-causing, virus-carrying seeds. And this is the plan. It is not about population reduction, even though that may be what they would argue to you. It is actually about killing. Killing children, killing families, killing people ignorantly who let it and eat it by choice and put it in your own body by choice. It's just silly. Yes. So now, Japan and South Korea have now barred imports of wheat. Those are two of our biggest export areas for our wheat, and Oregon is one of the biggest wheat growers in the country, and especially for natural wheat, and now that is over. Japan and South Korea have barred U.S. wheat imports. Says here, genetically altered wheat was found in Oregon. The Times' Michael Moss discusses why engineered food has long elicited criticism overseas but is just now growing in the United States. Well, that's a great fact. There's over 168 countries worldwide that have banned Monsanto and genetically modified foods. Why is America, the free country, home of the brave, why have we not done this? 168 countries have banned genetically modified foods, and we have not. We are Oregon. We are natural. We are green. We are one of the most beautiful places in the world. I love living here. I have the state outline tattooed on my body for a reason, because I was born here, and I do not want to leave here, and I do not want to be forced out of here. This is my home. This is a natural home, and there are very few of those left, and we need to protect them as much as we can. And Oregon is being attacked. So now I'd like to get to a little other news. This is something that basically everyone laughs at me when I talk about, and I am tired of it. I would like to show you a RT article. This is RT. The headline here is Homeland Security Under Investigation for Massive Ammo Buys. And it goes on to say that Homeland Security has, on average, they say purchased about 1.6 billion rounds of hollow point ammunition. Well, hollow point is twice as hard to shoot. It's heavier. It is more expensive. Way, way, way more expensive. And the police don't even normally carry hollow points because they wouldn't mind really if their rounds went right through the person or right through a car. They more so carry rounds that are metal piercing, car piercing, and what is the word I'm trying to think of here? Armor piercing. Armor piercing bullets is the most commonly carried by most police agencies, and why, I don't understand really why Homeland Security would be buying pricey ammo as department-wide cuts take hold. And this is Fox News. Homeland Security buying pricey ammo as department-wide cuts take hold. The Department of Homeland Security is spending more and more on pricey hollow-point bullets for law enforcement officers, even as it plans to enforce furloughs and other cuts on Customs and Border Protection employees due to sequestration. Yes, of course, it is the Congress's fault for not giving more money to Homeland Security, that we need to first take the people away from our borders and customs. That's our security force. That's where outside threats get in. But no, they're not worried about outside threats. They're worried about inside threats. Pricey ammo buys are for us. As you can find articles online, just Google Homeland Security buys pregnant women targets. They've purchased thousands of targets with pregnant women holding a gun, little children holding guns, little old ladies and little old men holding guns. Not you, not me, not men, not strong women, no. Pregnant women, children, and senior citizens holding guns. That's who they're practicing. They're called no hesitate targets, or don't hesitate targets, or something like that. Absolutely insane. So yes, as I said, these hollow point rounds are for the American citizens, and the weaker ones, the more vulnerable ones, I should say. And that is very troubling. And now here's one more last article on this subject. This is from The Hill. House votes to delay bulk ammunition purchases by DHS. Yes, it does exist again, and the House stops it for once, finally, because they're sick of the actually 2.3 billion bullets, it's more looking like, that they've purchased now. Absolutely ridiculous. You can also YouTube videos on militarization of the West. You'll see trains heading west, where the West Coast actually has some of the biggest and most, the highest amount of military bases over here on the West Coast, and that's where they're planning the biggest resistance, I believe, is on the West Coast. We're very educated over here, we're very independent, and we really don't want anything to do with New York. If I had it my way, we would all just be Cascadia. The Republic of Cascadia. Maybe go back to the Republic of the United States, which we were founded on. As many of you don't know, we were founded as a republic, not a democracy, where two wolves and a sheep vote on what's for dinner. It doesn't really sound fair, in my opinion. But yes. Representative Mark Meadows proposed an amendment to the DHS spending bill for 2014 that would require the report to Congress before it can pursue plans to buy 1.1 billion rounds of ammunition. That's 1.1 more billion rounds. Meadows said the speed bump is a necessary reaction of news of the huge purchase, which alarmed many Americans and prompted conservative groups to suspect that the government was stocking up on the rounds to fight citizens. Ah, wow. Well, put it right in front of your face, but deny it every time, and make it sound silly and wrong and ignorant, but actually it is farther from the truth. Given this large purchase, the American people and members of Congress rightfully had concerns and questions, Meadows said. This is a responsible amendment which ensures that Congress and the American people are aware of the necessity and the cost of ammunition prior to entering into new contracts for procurement. Thank you, Mark Meadows. That is absolutely correct. People need to think before just allowing the Department of Homeland Security to do whatever it wants, treat its citizens. That's another thing. Why am I a citizen and you are not a citizen? I can go and get that exact same job, and then I will be a public official. A public official. What does that mean? What does that really mean? I am very official right now in my radio broadcast. I am as official as I can get for a citizen. I am a citizen. I am a civilian. These military terms are being used every day by police, by congresspeople, by our elected officials who answer to us. They answer to us. We should be able to hold them accountable for everything they do, and if they are not being held accountable, then we should be able and have a free right to shine a spotlight right in their face until they are held accountable or until they leave office. And I am tired of the mentality that we don't have these rights anymore. We put you there. We put the Congress there. We put the president there. We put the government there. We are the people. We have the power. We are just allowing it to be stripped away from us every day. And that's the thing about these rights and these powers, is we will not get them back. Once they're gone, they're gone. Look at Russia. Look at Germany. Look at China. Look at any other country who's gone through a dictatorship, a globalist occupation. Look at this. They have never gotten their rights back, and they never will. And we are on the verge of losing our rights forever. Do we want that? Do we want to have to try to go back? No. We want to move forward. And I think the best thing we can do to do that is by informing each other and making it normal to talk about these things. Making it okay. I'm frustrated every day by the fact that I try to talk to my friends while having a beer at the bar or having dinner or while I'm working. Just the other day I showed a friend of mine articles from the Daily Mail in the UK about how New York is trying to pass laws to make it legal to test pesticides on orphans. Now, the state of New York has already been caught doing this. They've done it many, many times, and they're just trying to make it okay because they've been caught. I also, when I brought this article up to a friend, they responded with, "Have you heard the grammar at the Daily Mail?" I'm not saying that the Daily Mail is a great publication or a great news source or a great source of grammar. That has nothing to do with it. It's completely irrelevant, and it's a great way to shun what I say as irrelevant and unmeaningful. Well, this is ridiculous. What I'm telling you and what we are talking about are facts. And every once in a while, a shitty news organization reports on facts, and that's what this was. And I do not like the Daily Mail, but it is a credible news source when it wants to be. And the average person looks at it as a credible news source. And that's the point, is we need to find these articles and these truths that are hidden in plain view with credible sources. Credible sources. InfoWars is the most credible source I know. InfoWars, Natural News, We Are Change, Press for Truth, and Drudge Report. Those are the best. Those are the best I know. Those are where I get my news, and those are where I get the news that is hidden in plain view from credible news sources. Again, just because the average public calls CNN, Fox News, MSNBC credible doesn't mean they're credible, but it also doesn't mean that they don't slip real news in plain view to try and condition you to accepting it, okay? So Fox News does report on things. There's a report you can YouTube right now. Geraldo Rivera, troops growing poppies. And Geraldo Rivera goes to Afghanistan and reports how the troops are basically stationed there to keep growing the poppies so we can keep importing the heroin. And that's good. That's good for our country, because if because otherwise the Afghanistan economy would collapse, because their biggest export is poppy. And what are they using it for? Heroin. I mean, come on. And our troops are growing it, and the CIA is bringing it into our country, and then they're putting us in jail for using it. This is absolutely insane, hypocritical. This is a revolving door that will never close until we close it ourselves. We are the people, we have the power, we need to stop accepting these BS lies. The CIA brings the drugs in. Iran-Contras, a plane crashed. There was a CIA plane with tons and tons of cocaine on it. I mean, come on. Come on. The CIA runs the drugs in. That's their job. That's their main job. The other job they have is to run the little kids out for the pedo rings, for the pedophile rings, for the biggest pedophile network in the world. And the head of that is Vatican City. Yep. That's why the last pope stepped down, in my opinion, and a lot of opinions I've heard and talked about from inside sources basically says that the last pope was being cornered because he was the dude who covered everything up for the past how many years. He was the guy. He knew it all. He knew everything. And yeah, it's not stopped. It's not stopped at all. That brings me to Jerry Sandusky. I wrote an article on that. It was called Presidents and Pedophiles, An Appetite for Power. You can Google that. It's on my WordPress, wordpress.com/ organfreethinkers.wordpress.com. You can find some articles I've written in the past there. And that article goes into the fact that George H.W. Bush actually gave an award to Jerry Sandusky. And the day that he gave that award was, or the speech that you've probably heard, and you didn't realize that he was giving Jerry Sandusky an award, during this speech was the 1,000 Points of Illumination speech, talking about a new world order, and 1,000 points of illumination, and an outside threat. Well, Jerry Sandusky got an award for his Second Mile Foundation, and that was the foundation that was bringing in little boys to be raped and molested. And why was he getting an award? Because George H.W. Bush, I'm sure, is a pedophile as well. And guess who else gave Jerry Sandusky an award? Rick Santorum, yes. A little late on reporting on that because he's fallen through the cracks now, but I'm sure he's still doing something dirty and nasty somewhere. And everybody needs to know that those two guys are in bed with Jerry Sandusky and the little boys, okay? So, just look up Bohemian Grove. Actually, just look up Richard Nixon talking about Bohemian Grove and how it's a bunch of fags and homosexuals hugging trees naked, okay? Well, I don't agree with the term fag for a homosexual. I think that is derogatory. And I don't have anything against homosexuality. I have many gay friends, and I appreciate their right to do whatever they want. But I'm tired of having the gay agenda pushed on us, and the man brought down, and the woman told that she doesn't need a man, she needs to be independent, and she doesn't need a family, she doesn't need kids. Look at that, what was it, Kelly Clarkson, or not Kelly Clarkson, well, Rihanna, of course, there's a video, I can't think of the artist's name, she's definitely someone I don't care about, but she came out with that video just a couple years ago that was all anti-man and showed the women drowning the men in the water and becoming a military person and joining the military and pro-women in military. Well, why don't you look up the statistics of women in military? I, in my opinion, believe that women are at much more risk of violence and rape by being in the military than many other positions you could have. And you can just look up the statistics on how much rape is going on right now in the military, and it is sad. It is very sad. It is very sad to see people trying to push women to join the military to be subjected to this kind of behavior. But anyway, I guess I will start winding it down a bit. This is going to be a shorter broadcast for my first one. I'll be much more prepared the next time, I promise. I hope I didn't bore you too much, and I hope you can look up some of the things I said for yourself and find that they're true. I'm not just a talker, I'm a doer. The last time I spoke publicly or in front of a camera was in 2011 for the anniversary of 9/11, when I put on a DVD showing for about 35-40 people. And I showed Architects and Engineers for 9/11 Truth, an amazing, amazing documentary that is hands down probably the best documentary to wake people up to 9/11. That's Architects and Engineers for 9/11 Truth, Explosive Evidence. It's a free DVD. You can check it out on YouTube. I also have an email address, RadioBravery@hotmail.com, and you can, or RadioBravery@gmail.com, excuse me, and you can email me there anytime, and if you'd like a free copy of a DVD, I will burn it for you with my own money. I will send it to you in the mail, and I'll get it to you wherever you are worldwide. That is a promise. Any DVD you need, ask me. I will have it for you. I just want to spread the truth and spread information. That's my whole goal in life, really, right now. I have an amazing girlfriend, and I hope to have an amazing, beautiful future and kids with her, and that is being threatened every day. And I am tired of laying down and feeling afraid, and feeling afraid for my future, feeling afraid for my potential children's future. I'm afraid for the children who are alive right now, who may not have a future. And I need to do as much as I can to make sure that this future happens well, good, pure, not New World Order, iRobot, Minority Report, Hunger Games. No, that's not what I want. I don't want sacrificing of human beings. I want equality. Blacks, whites, Hispanics, Asians, everybody. I love you all. I'm a very positive person, and all I want is good, and all I want to do is spread positivity. So, I'm Justin Bellshaw. This is Radio Bravery, and I am not brave. I'm just doing what I feel like must be done. I am weak. I should have done this years ago. I'm 10 steps behind, and I have a lot of catching up to do. So I'm not brave, and that's not why I named this radio show that. I named this radio show Radio Bravery because you need to be brave. I want you to tune in and become more brave by being empowered. Knowledge is power. Everyone in power will tell you this. Knowledge is power. Don't stick your head in the sand. Ignorance is not bliss. You will not find bliss through ignorance. This is wrong. This is a lie. This is a complete manipulation to get you to sit down and not stand up. Stand up with me. Be brave. Be braver than I am. This is Radio Bravery, and this is for you. Not for me. Not for anybody else. It's for you. For the people. For us. To get back to a good place in ourselves and in our country where we can smile and say, yes, I am an American. Because now I feel sad to say I'm an American. I feel insulting to go to another country and say I'm an American. It's disgusting what Americans let happen to other people, murdering innocent children in Iraq. Millions. Millions. No more. Stand up with me. Find bravery. This is Radio Bravery. I'm Justin Bellshaw. I'll see you next week.